Hello and welcome to things I find interesting that happened today in the past, aka T.I.F.I.T.H.T, I.T.P. This show is all about the events that occurred today in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things I personally find intriguing enough for me to bring to you. The source of this information comes from the smart device application On This Day, the icon of which is shown as cutoff prevention at the beginning and end of each episode. The music in the background is Halcyon by JJD, which I found on the YouTube channel No Copyright Sounds, aka NCS. For links to the app, music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar. Anyway, on with the show. Today is Thursday, aka Thursday, Cinco de Mayo 2016. In 2010, mass protests erupted in Greece in response to austerity measures imposed by the government as a result of the Greek government debt crisis. In 1987, during the Iran-Contra affair, televised congressional hearings started in the United States. In 1985, Ronald Reagan visited the military cemetery at Bitburg, Germany, at the site of the Nazi concentration camp Bergen-Belsen, and made a speech. In 1981, Bobby Sands died at the age of 27 in a Longkesh prison hospital after 66 days of hunger striking. In 1973, Secretariat won the 1973 Kentucky Derby in 1 minute 59 and 2/5 of a second, a record which has yet to be surpassed. In 1965, the Warlocks, later known as the Grateful Dead, made their first public appearance in Menlo Park, California. In 1964, the Council of Europe declared May 5th as Europe Day. In 1961, during the Mercury program, Alan Shepard aboard the Mercury Redstone 3 became the first United States citizen to travel into outer space, reaching a suborbital flight. In 1955, West Germany gained full sovereignty. In 1949, the Treaty of London established the Council of Europe in Strasbourg as the first European institution working for European integration. In 1946, the International Military Tribunal for the Far East began in Tokyo with the 28 Japanese military and government officials accused of war crimes and crimes against humanity. In 1945, during World War II, 6 people were murdered when a Japanese fire balloon exploded near Bly, Oregon. They became the only people murdered on mainland United States during the war. Also in 1945 and also during World War II, the Prague Uprising began as an attempt by the Czech resistance to free the city from German occupation. In 1944, German troops executed 216 civilians in the village of Klaisora in Greece. In 1940, also during World War II, Norwegian refugees formed a government in exile in London. In 1934, the first Three Stooges short, Woman Haters, was released. In 1925, the government of South Africa declared Afrikaans as an official language. Also in 1925, the Scopes trial served an arrest warrant on John T. Scopes for teaching evolution, which was in violation of the Butler Act. In 1912, Pravda, the quote-unquote voice of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, began publication in St. Petersburg. In 1905, the trial of the Stratton brothers case began in London, England. It marked the first time fingerprint evidence was used to gain a conviction for murder. In 1891, the music hall in New York City, now known as Carnegie Hall, had its grand opening and first public performance with Chuck Akiovisky as the guest conductor. In 1886, the Bayview Massacre occurred, in which a militia opened fire into a crowd of protesters in Milwaukee, murdering 7. In 1877, during the Native American Wars, Sitting Bull led his band of Lakota into Canada to avoid harassment by the United States Army under Colonel Nelson Miles. In 1866, Memorial Day was first celebrated in the U.S. at Waterloo, New York. In 1865, the Confederate government was declared dissolved at Washington, Georgia. Also in 1865, in North Bend, Ohio, the first train robbery in the United States took place. In 1862, troops led by Ignacio Zaragoza halted a French invasion in the Battle of Pueblo in Mexico. This event is celebrated annually as Cinco de Mayo. In 1860, Giuseppe Garibaldi set sail from Genoa, leading the expedition of the 1,000 to conquer the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies and created the Kingdom of Italy. In 1835, the first railway in continental Europe opened between Brussels and Mechelen. In 1821, Emperor Napoleon died in exile on the island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean. In 1809, Mary Kies became the first woman awarded a U.S. patent, which was for a technique of weaving straw with silken thread. In 1494, Christopher Columbus landed on the island of Jamaica and claimed it for Spain. In 1260, Kublai Khan became the ruler of the Mongol Empire. And in 1215, rebel barons renounced their allegiance to King John of England, which became part of a chain of events leading to the signing of the Magna Carta. Burst, Chris Brown, 1989, Adele, 1988, John Weinstein, 1966, Karl Marx, 1818. And that concludes T.I.F.I.T.H.T. Once again, check the underbar for any links you may be interested in. For your dose of Passive Daily, I am A.O. Xander, and you are you. Toodles!